Yo, B Marsh Boxing back at it once again with another breakdown and prediction live stream. Sorry I had to do this all over again. I did this once already, and that joint had no audio on it. So I'm back at it, man. Back at it one more again. So this is a breakdown and prediction for this unification fight we got coming up between BC and Lineal light heavyweight champion Alexander Gvozdyk, 17 and 0 with 14 KOs versus the IBF champion Artur Beterbiev, 14 and 0 with 14 KOs. Very good fight, two undefeated fighters, two guys from the Soviet Union or former Soviet Union, Eastern Bloc countries. It's gonna be a good one, you know what I mean? Now, Artur Beterbiev is a guy who's been on PBC since like the inception of PBC. I remember his first fight on PBC when he fought Tavares Cloud, and the guy made an instant impact on me watching him as a pro because I'd seen him in the amateurs. You know what I mean? I believe I'd seen him in the 2020 Olympics. I think he had lost to Oleksandr. You know what I mean? Um, well, on the other hand, Alexander Gvozdyk, he himself has an extensive amateur background as well. I believe in that 2012 Olympics, he came home with a bronze medal for the Ukraine. So these two guys are competitors. I'm not sure if they fought in the amateurs. I think I might have heard somewhere that they might have. I'm not too sure. I've never seen the fight. If you know if they have, drop it in the comment section just to reassure us. You know what I mean? But one thing for sure, two things for certain. Both guys are heavy-handed fighters, but I do slightly give the edge to Arthur Beterbiev for having the more powerful impact on his punches. You know what I mean? He's definitely the more heavy-handed fighter. You know what I'm saying? So, Alexander Gvozdyk is a guy. He's a guy he's been on our TV screen for Top Rank for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Seen him fight the Tommy Carpensis, um, Uniescus Gonzalez. He gave him a battering. He thoroughly battered his ass. You know what I mean? Gave him a thorough beating. You know what I'm saying? He's a good fighter. You know what I mean? A boxer by all means. You know what I mean? While on the other hand, Arthur Beterbiev, in my opinion, he's just a puncher. You know what I'm saying? Can he box? Not as much as, in my opinion, he's not a better boxer than Gvozdyk. You know what I mean? Gvozdyk, in my opinion, for what I've been seeing from him, has better footwork, better hand speed, and also has a better jab. You know what I mean? The power edge, I slightly lean that in favor of the man Arthur Beterbiev. Arthur Beterbiev. As you can see, Arthur Beterbiev ain't never gone the distance. His IBF title fight for the vacant IBF title when he beat Enrico Colin was about to go the distance, but it dropped his opponent, and he wasn't that visibly hurt, but they stopped the fight, thus continuing his KO streak, 14 and 0, 14 KOs. You know what I'm saying? But I think Arthur Beterbiev, he's a guy who has a good jab, but it's not better than Gvozdyk. It's a stiff jab that can penetrate and can punch through and split the guard of an opponent. You know what I mean? But I think Gvozdyk has a more consistent jab. I think the key to victory is going to be solely on the jab in this particular fight. Both guys, I'm not too particularly sure about the inside game. Alexander Gvozdyk is a guy who's about 7'2". I said 7'2". Excuse me, 6'2". I think his reach is about 65 inches, as opposed to Arthur Beterbiev, who's about 5'10", maybe 5'11", with a 72-inch reach. So the height and reach advantage goes in favor of the man Gvozdyk, and also the age advantage goes to Gvozdyk. He's 2 years younger than the man Arthur Beterbiev. You know what I mean? But I think Arthur Beterbiev, his keys to victory, like I said, I don't know about neither of these guys' inside game. You know what I mean? I know there's going to be, do expect a lot of clinching and holding, you know what I mean? Do expect some clinching and holding. Arthur Beterbiev, he's going to have to get on the inside, you know what I'm saying? And he's going to have to land some left hooks, you know what I mean? He's an orthodox fighter as well. He's going to have to get on the inside, you know what I mean? Use his little lateral movement. He hasn't shown much lateral movement off the back foot really in his career, except for I thought the man Hot Rock Kalojiro would be the biggest test for the man Arthur Beterbiev, but he made easy work out of him. I was thoroughly impressed with how he handled Hot Rock Kalojiro, you know what I mean? But Alexander Gvozdyk, is going to be the taller guy with the longer reach. He's going to fight behind his jab straight up. You know what I mean? I think when Artur Beterbiev does try to get on the inside to close the distance, there will be a lot of clinching and a lot of holding. You know what I mean? But one edge that the man Artur Beterbiev, I think, is going to have trouble coping with Gvozdyk is Gvozdyk's lateral movement, lateral perpetual movement, his pivoting in the pocket. You know what I mean? Throwing punches and bunches, the combinations. You know what I mean? Double jab, straight right hand, left uppercut, straight right hand behind it. How big this big Ukrainian guy possesses these type of skills. You know what I mean? Artur Beterbiev is a guy with more punches, almost always does. You know what I mean? The guy Gvozdyk got to take Beterbiev into deep waters. If he wants any intention of winning this fight, he has to take him into deep waters, and he's gonna have to let his hands go, especially in the later rounds. You know what I mean? To test the man Beterbiev to see if he has the stamina to go 12, or if he's even capable of hanging with a guy who's the biggest test of Artur Beterbiev's career as far as resumes. You know what I mean? Now both guys' resumes are almost identical, except the fact that Gvozdyk does have Adonis Stevenson's scalp on his resume. You know what I mean? He has a scalp on his resume. He retired Adonis Stevenson, and he went to the man's backyard, you know what I mean, in Canada. Now this fight with Beterbiev and Gvozdyk is going to be in Philadelphia, North Philly, on Temple University campus at the La Coria Center, you know what I mean? So that's one advantage both guys have coming into this fight. Neither guy has home court, home ring, hometown, home city, home country advantage. Both guys are from the Eastern Bloc, going to be fighting in Philadelphia. So this is really and truly, ladies and gents, boxing heads and fight fans around the world. This truly is a 50-50 fight, you know what I mean? I'm not so confident in my pick, but after studying film and watching over the years, you know what I mean? I think Artur Beterbiev, there was a point and period of time where his career was a little stagnant, you know what I mean? When he did get fights, he's fighting guys we've never heard of that we know they're not going to go the distance with the guy, you know what I mean? I'm happy that the guy did achieve and realize his dream of becoming a world champion. But now both guys are putting their butts on the line, you know what I mean? And I gotta give them both a lot of credit, you know. I think that the man Beterbiev is gonna have to go to the body relentlessly, hellaciously, early and often if he has any chance of trying to beat the man um, Oleksandr Gvozdyk and not trying to make this fight into go into deep waters. You know what I mean? The guy Gvozdyk, like I said, man, he got that Derevchenko, Alexander Usyk, Lomachenko pivoting down pocket, man. He got it down packed. You know what I'm saying? Pivoting in the pocket, throwing combinations, getting the fuck up out of dodge, pivoting off the, you know what I'm saying, off of his left foot. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna be circling in all kind of ways. You know what I mean? Primarily when he fought it down to Stevenson, he was primarily using lateral movement going towards his left, you know what I mean? But that's to avoid that big left hand of Adonis Stevenson. In this particular instance, he's fighting an orthodox fighter, you know what I mean? So I think he's going to give Beterbiev a whole lot of different looks. And Beterbiev, man, I think it's going to take him time. And he's a kind of guy who needs to plant his feet, more of a flat-footed fighter to unleash them combinations. And I think when he's ready to do that, that's where Alexander Gvozdyk got to take advantage and let them hands go pop, 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 and get the fuck up out of dodge. Anytime the man trying to set up, anytime Beterbiev trying to set up, let off the power leg, the man Gvozdyk has to unleash combinations and move. You know what I mean? Stick and move, pivoting. You know what I'm saying? You know, the man Beterbiev did get dropped by Callum Johnson, I believe, in the second round. You know what I mean? And really and truly, Callum Johnson came to fight. He dropped him in the second round with a left hook. So that's one thing Gvozdyk could take advantage of. You know what I mean? But I think Callum Johnson was a game fighter against Artur Beterbiev. He just was a little careless, and I think that the man Gvozdyk is definitely a more defensively responsible fighter, even than Beterbiev. You know what I mean? Beterbiev is not that difficult to hit. You know, I've seen him hit all throughout his career to become 14-0. There was a guy from DC, a light skinned cat, who had dreadlocks. You know what I mean? I forgot his name. Somebody, I forgot his name. I think Beterbiev fought him when he was 7-0. Beterbiev, man, he looked a little vulnerable in that fight. You know what I mean? He looked vulnerable in that fight, and really and truly, I've seen him on the canvas a few times. You know what I mean? I've seen him definitely against Callum Johnson, and early in his career, I can't even remember the guy's name right now. But that's neither here nor there. But the Callum Johnson knockdown really should be something somebody should consider, especially when thinking about who's going to win this fight, because that wasn't that long ago. I'm not them type of fellas who going to dig deep to go talk about. Remember when Canoli got rocked by Abner Cotto and shit? I wonder if that was like in 2011. When I'm going into a breakdown and prediction of Canoli today, I can't be going back talking about shit like that, or you know, that's old. You know what I'm saying? Guys have improved over that. That's like me talking about, you know, you just can't base stuff off of those old fights. You know what I mean? I've seen Gvozdyk on the canvas versus Tommy Carpensi. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really going to use that as a factor as far as doing this breakdown and prediction, but I do think Beterbiev is a little bit more chinnier than the man Gvozdyk, and I think he's more vulnerable. You know what I mean? Because his defense is not as tight as the man Gvozdyk. You know what I'm saying? So I think Gvozdyk needs to fight beyond his jab, keep this man at the end of his jab, punches and bunches and combinations, and get the fuck up out of dodge. Do not stand directly in front of Beterbiev, because that's what ultimately he wants you to do. You know what I mean? I think if you do, if Gvozdyk employs a lot of that movement, punches and bunches, it's going to be a long night for Beterbiev. You know what I mean? Beterbiev is going to have to be winging shots, and he'll probably have to open up himself, probably be vulnerable for a knockout, just to catch and get to the man Artur Gvozdyk head. You know what I mean? If they do get on the inside, do expect a lot of clinching and holding. Um, will there be any knockdowns? There possibly might be knockdowns in this fight. Possibly both guys will get dropped. You know what I'm saying? But Beterbiev needs to go to the body if he wants to keep the man stationary, so they could trade fire with fire. You know what I mean? That's, I think, the only chance Beterbiev, well, not the only chance, but one of the key factors he has to utilize in order to beat Gvozdyk. But he himself is not really a body puncher like that. You know what I mean? He's primarily a headhunter. You check it. So Gvozdyk, I think, does throw nice punches to the body, nice straight right long hands to the body, power punches, and I think he's gonna win this fight. You know what I mean? I think Beterbiev's gonna win some rounds just off of, you know, two Eastern Bloc, Ukraine, Russia. It's gonna be a rivalry, and I think the pride in him will um, help him win a few rounds. But I think ultimately it'll be a close fight. But I think Gvozdyk wins this fight 7 rounds to 5. You know what I mean? I think he wins this fight 7 rounds to 5 on a split decision. And I'm saying, really and truly, a 50-50 fight. I would not be surprised one bit if Beterbiev does somehow, some way pull out and win this fight. Um, do I see Gvozdyk winning by knockout? Possibly, I could see that too, and Beterbiev by knockout. But I think Gvozdyk is more built for going the distance. You know what I mean? And I think that's his best opportunity to win this fight, is to win this fight on points, and to take the man and drown him and take him into deep waters. You know what I mean? Irrespective of their resumes cannot fight for him. Even though Gvozdyk, I give him the edge on resume, because he went to Canada, beat Adonis Stevenson, faced adversity in the 10th round, almost got knocked out, came back in the 11th round and just unleashed on Adonis Stevenson and retired him. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a very good fight. I'm happy for this fight. The last time we've had a unification at light heavyweight, I believe, was 2014 November, Atlantic City, WBA, WBF, WBA, IBF, and WBO light heavyweight titles of the world, and that was between Bernard Hopkins and Sergey Kovalev. You know what I mean? So let me know in the comment section. What's good, Brooklyn Boxing Chat? What the deal, fam? How you doing, dog? See you in the chat. All is well, my G. Let me know in the comment section who you guys think's gonna win this fight. I can't wait for this fight. Looking forward to it, and I think we're gonna have the Ukrainian unify these titles via split decision. Be Marsh Boxing. Leave your thoughts and comments. I'm out of here. Peace.